All right, welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we drink booze, have beards, and talk books. This is our weekly book battle episode, where we talk about what we're reading and writing currently, as well as a debate topic. I am Bob of TalesbyBob.
And I'm Derek of Kellowan.
Oh, nice,
yeah.
Nice. In this episode, we're going to do our weekly chat from the Eagle and Child, and then dive into our book battle. So, Derek, what have you been writing this week?
This week I've been writing on my eventual reviews of everything I've been reading.
Okay.
So I'll talk about that when I get to what I'm reading. But
okay.
I've just been working on a couple of reviews. That's pretty much it.
I haven't done a ton of writing. I did a little bit on Blightborn. Just a little bit. I really want to hurry up and get done with it, but I don't know. I'm kind of stalling out on it a little bit. Like I enjoy it when I'm actually writing on it, but whenever I'm not writing on it, I just get filled with this I just want to be done with it, and it frustrates me to where I don't want to go work on it. It basically what it is.
You describe how I feel about writing all the time.
What it is with me is I've been working on this project too long for me.
Yeah.
I've been working on this project for a few months now, I guess. And I typically only work on a project for a month. Like my first novel that I wrote in 2 months. But 2 months, like 2 years apart.
Yeah.
Like 1 month, 2 years, 1 month. And then the next book I wrote in like a month and a half, 2 months. No, actually I think it was 3 months. I wrote it in 3 months. Because I did 1 month in NaNoWriMo, and then like I've kind of slowly finished it up. But like it's rare for me to have worked on anything so long, and I'm just ready to be done with it so I can jump onto new projects, of which I have a number in the works. So just gotta push through, get done, and yada yada yada. But the last thing I wrote was I'm writing a scene where I'm about to kill somebody off that needs killing, so that's gonna be fun. He's gonna burn to death.
That's a spoiler.
God. Right. So what are you reading?
Currently, I am reading 3 books. I'm reading Eyes of God by John Marco, which is going to be a very interesting conversation later because I think there is a gaping, massive plot hole that is the reason I have not managed to finish it yet.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed it and I can't get around it. It's causing me issues. I've also started reading Italian.
Yup. If you haven't started, it's not too late to jump in. We're doing a read-along of Italian Revenant. Every Tuesday is when we will be doing our posts and discussions about it. But it's 4 chapters a week until we get done. So by this upcoming Tuesday, try to have the first 4 chapters read. And if you're like, oh, well, I don't have time to get it, you can get the Kindle version on Amazon. We provided a link on our blog. You can pick up a copy, and if you're like, oh, but I don't have a Kindle, guess what? Kindle isn't a product, it's an app. You can put the Kindle app on anything. It's free. You can put it on your desktop, your laptop, your phone, whatever. So, I don't have a Kindle Fire. Don't need one. All you need is a reading, like a device with a screen on it, and access to an app store, and you can get the Kindle app. So, just keep that in mind.
But I've started reading that, and
And it is best.
That'll be a fun conversation.
Oh, it is amazing.
And then I've also been working my way through Silverthorn, but that's an audiobook. Oh. I still count it as reading.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing Silverthorn.
I've been putting a bunch of books in my Amazon cart that I really want to read, and it's like, man, just like, I remember when Kindle books were cheaper than
that's why I never got one, is because the ones that I always wanted, they were never cheaper.
God, like so many of them that I put in there is like, oh, you can get the print copy for $7.99 or the digital copy for $7.99. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't cost. There's no associated costs with. I mean, there are some associated costs, but it costs you less to get this into my hands. So why are you charging me the same price? It boggles the mind. Anyway, so I have this Audible account. I have 12 credits. So I think I'm going to look and see if Taigana by Gay Cavriel Kai, I always say his name wrong, if that's an audiobook, and I think that may be my first audiobook. I don't know. We'll see. But what I'm reading is The Grey House by Marion Petrosar. Yeah. It doesn't help that my handwriting is horrible. But it's a Russian book. Basically, for World Book Day, Amazon were like, hey, if you have a Prime account, here's like 9 books.
Some books.
And you can, any of them you want. Because, like Amazon, they always do, like, every month, there's like, here's 6 books, pick one, and you can have it.
Yeah.
For $1.99. Unless you're a Prime member, in which case you can just have it. So I always do that every month. I pick out one book. I forget what I picked for this month. But, for the May books. But, I grabbed 3 of the 9 that they had available for the World Book Day. And this is one of them. And so far, it's really good.
What's it about?
Okay, it is about a home for disabled children. Up to like 18 or so. And it's, whether it be a mental disability or a physical, maybe there's like one kid's blind. There's a number of them in wheelchairs.
Somebody's crippled, yeah.
Yes, a number in wheelchairs. One of the main characters has no arms. Just stuff like that. And then some of them, they have mental disabilities. But they are, it's called The Grey House. And they're basically, they never, except for like 2 weeks during the summer, or like a week during the summer, they're in this house at all times. Like they have a backyard, but they never go out. Like all their schooling is done there. They eat their meals there. They live there. It's a boarding house.
Right.
And it's like basically their parents drop them off and never come back, kind of deal. And they have created their own world inside of it. They're divided into groups. Like they kind of divide themselves, and they've developed this whole culture inside. Like, and it appears that there's magic going on. So it gets. Sometimes it's hard to read, just because the characters they talk so, like, there's this hidden magical world going on, and none of them can openly talk about it. It seems like there's like, that's part of the rules. Like, this house has tons of rules. Like, they don't ever just openly talk about, oh yeah, fuck yeah, there's magic, Mm-hmm. So it sometimes when they get to talking about it, like, you're trying to have to read between the lines, like, what are they really saying here? And plus, it's translated from Russian, so I'm sure that kind of adds a little bit to it. But it's really good. If you've ever read The Thief of Always, it's like a really much more dense. It's like
no one's read that, Bob. That book doesn't
Thief of
exist.
Always meets Harry Potter meets The Magicians, kinda, but real good. Really, really good. Highly recommend it. You should definitely go out. And it's long too. Jesus Christ. My Kindle app, I'm like 40% done, and it says I still have like 10.5 hours of reading.
I always have a problem with, I don't have a problem, but I have an issue with being able to write reviews for books from other languages. Because of how heavily I pay attention to prose. I always feel like it's just not fair. Because I feel like I'm not getting the full context of a translated work. It's always weird to me.
Yeah. One thing that this does that I've never really seen to any real extent in like a major book release is it jumps viewpoint off, like, chapter to chapter, sometimes even within the chapter. Like, it'll go from first person to third person.
That's weird.
Yeah. But it's, it's not really as jarring as you would think it would be. Like, I would have thought it took me a while to even kind of realize it was happening at first, just because it's very fluid. And it jumps through time a lot. And one thing it does is everyone has a nickname. No one goes by their real name. Everyone has a nickname. And it jumps through time, and what you eventually come to realize is people's nicknames have changed. It's like, this is like 5 years back, and then now, and like some of their nicknames have changed, and when you realize, holy shit, Grasshopper is Sphinx. Whoa! It's really cool. It's like mind-blowing when that happens. So,
I'll take your word for it.
It's great. Highly recommend it. Everyone should read it. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add as to what you are reading?
Nope, that's right. I mean, for me, I think 3 books is enough, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. I may also try out some of the Dresden books, an audiobook. I've been reading a lot about the Dresden Files, and like everyone is like, get past the first couple books and it gets amazing. Like he really finds his voice, he kind of learns what he's doing. Like at first the coolness of the idea is what carried him, and then he actually learned what he was doing. So
I just feel like you need to read a lot of that, because a lot of the things that you kind of seem like you want to write would really benefit from you knowing more about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, we don't currently have a sponsor, but in our mind, if we had a sponsor, it might be these people. Looking to get away for a while? Why not try Pine Cove, California? Within easy driving distance of San Luis Obispo and located on the world-famous Big Sur, be sure to take some time to admire its rugged cliffsides and beautiful beaches. Drop into the locals' favorite bar, Head of the Slug, and get yourself a drink from Miss Mavis Sand. You won't regret it. Tell them Bob sent you. That's a shout-out to our super fan, Tanya. She just read a book with that place in it.
Oh, okay.
That's a shout-out for all you Christopher Moore fans out there.
I was about to say, are we talking...
Who is real good if you haven't read Christopher Moore, which I don't think you have, but he's really good.
I recognize that name, I think.
He's like if Chuck Palahniuk and Carl Hyacin and R.L. Stine had a baby.
Okay, then.
It's like only 10% R.L. Stine. It's like 45% Carl Hyacin, 45% Palahniuk.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into our book battle. This week, the question was, who is your favorite female author? And we debated on if we were going to limit it down to just genre fiction, and we decided not to.
Specifically to torture me.
You're the one who... I asked if you wanted to limit it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
So that I would have more to talk about, because it's not... If you had said genre, it wouldn't have been as much fun of me just going Robin Hobb.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's no other answer for me. It's Robin Hobb.
That would not be the correct answer for genre fiction. But
wait, I'm sorry, what?
For genre fiction, that would not be the correct answer.
For me?
No, just in general.
Oh, well, you're always wrong. But, like, I thought you were saying it wasn't right for me, and I was like, who the hell am I forgetting? Yeah. I was literally going, wait, what? But no. But it's either Robin Hobb or Kate Chopin, and I had to try and look at it and decide, okay, I love Kate Chopin for her prose.
Yeah.
I very much, like, a lot.
Yeah.
But her subject matter is not as interesting to me.
Are you saying that you don't find love and romance in 1870s Louisiana super relevant to your life?
I don't. I know it's hard to say. It's amazing, and most
but
people are
also,
surprised.
to be fair, you probably don't find being the bastard child of a king apprentice to an assassin to be super relevant to your life either.
What are you talking about? I mean, that's
me. That's your
spot
life.
on. Spot on. But my thing is, I love the way she writes. Not as big a fan of what she talks about. Like, it's interesting, but it's just not my jam. You give me an option.
It's well written.
Yeah.
She writes better than Robin Hobb, but just you don't find her as interesting.
Yeah, right. It's basically, like I said, it comes down to which one do I prefer in this moment in time. Do I prefer my prose or do I prefer my plot? And at this point, I think I prefer my plot. Because I...
Correct answer.
No, it's not the right answer. You should have both. But we're not allowed to invoke the name of Rothfuss.
What takes precedence in Bob's eyes is always plot.
I think I should try and adopt that a little bit more, but you give me a well-turned phrase, I will never forget it.
Yeah.
It sticks with me. Anyways.
Like
Robin
peanut
Hobb.
butter on the roof of a dog's mouth.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I hate you. But no, it's Robin Hobb or Kate Chopin, and I think I go with Robin Hobb. I love the Assassins, or the Farseer trilogy. There's a lot more of her work that I've read. I can't remember. Is it Live Ship? Yeah, Live Ship.
Traders.
And they were good, but they weren't as good as Farseer. Like, Farseer is one of my favorite things I've ever read. So
yeah.
It's just nothing's really going to beat that for the most part. I am concerned, like you're always concerned you're forgetting of a female author. I feel like there might be someone I'm forgetting. But I still don't think it would trump Robin Hobb.
I actually, because I'm always paranoid of forgetting someone, I just went and looked up like lists of female genre fiction authors. Just to
I've read some Margaret Atwood, but I like Hobb more.
Yeah. I haven't really... I think I've read some short stories of hers, but nothing like really stuck out at me.
Yeah.
And I haven't read Handmaid's Tale yet, although I keep meaning to, but I just haven't. I too have two possible answers. I'm going to say who ended up being my number 2 is Mary Gentle. She wrote Grunts, which is possibly my favorite fantasy novel of all time. Like, I just love that book so much. It is the most fun read I've ever read in the history of reading, pretty much. And it's fantasy, and it's great. I love it.
I want to have a conversation about this at some point.
Okay.
Because you don't like when people travel to different worlds,
right.
But you like where grunts transform into... I just don't understand you.
You're correct. I typically do not like anything where people jump dimensions. Mm-hmm. They never actually jump dimensions here. A dragon at some point in the past jumped dimensions and stole a bunch of marine equipment. But it's... I can explain this. I can explain this perfectly. The reason I don't like it when people jump dimensions, stuff like that, is I hate that. I hate following one person who used to be on Earth and now he's on this fantasy world. I hate that character trope. You know, I just hate, like, the super fish out of water thing.
Yeah.
Like, this happens so much with time travel and stuff like that. Like, oh, I'm not from this place, time, whatever. I'm so out of sorts, and I'm having to pretend to be something I'm not. I hate that. Grunts doesn't do that. They're not fish out of their water. They are guppies that have been living in this ocean for a while. They're guppies who found machine guns. And it's great. It's amazing. And also, it does a really cool thing where it kind of throws a lot of fantasy tropes on its head. Like, the halfling thieves, are terrible people. Like, awful, horrible, terrible people. Like, beheading children kind of people. But, you know, for those who haven't read it, the whole premise here is based, like, the Dark Lord, like, the battle against the Dark Lord happens on, like, page 90, and the Dark Lord loses. And so, like, it's not, we're a bunch of orcs. What do we do now? And it's amazing. What they do now is they stumble across a dragon's horde that's filled with machine guns. And there's a curse placed on the machine guns, or on all this military gear, that whatever you steal, you will become. So they basically turn into U.S. Marines, except that they're orcs, and it's as silly of an interpretation as you can go with it. Like, they're still very much orcs. They just kind of take on the trappings of Marindom while still being orcs. It's hilarious and amazing, and I love it. Love it! But she's my number 2. And the reason why is because I read another book of hers. It was the first in a series. Mm-hmm. And it was it's been so long since. After I read Grunts, like, oh my god, I've got to read more. And she
for you.
never wrote anything else like Grunts, seemingly. This was like historical fiction almost, and I just couldn't get into it. Like, I think I was probably a little young for it. Kind of, I don't know. I just recall like it didn't. I might have liked it more if I hadn't read Grunts first, kind of deal. You know, I was just so let down. But it was a very, what memory serves, it's like a leader of a mercenary group is doing stuff in like France, I think. I don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah, so...
What's number one? Because I'll tell you if you have the right answer.
Ellen Kushner.
Wrong.
She is best. Ellen Kushner is great. I think you should, because you haven't read her, I think you should read her because I think you will like her prose. Ellen Kushner. Swords Point. Which, Swords Point is one of my all-time favorite books, and the other stuff of hers that I've read is good. There's one of the books I just put in my Amazon cart, like I was just talking about, is Thomas the Rhymer, which is a book of hers. And so I want to get it. But I've read 3 of her books, all set in I think it's called the Riverside Trilogy. They are best. The last one gets a little weird. She wrote them out of order, but like you can now read them in chronological order. But they are really good, and she's just a really amazing writer. And it was like Swords Point, which is to this day is still my favorite Fantasy of Manners novel. Although that said, Curse of Chalian is real close to that now. But Goblin Emperor is so good. Anyway,
yeah, that was my thing. Is I remember Catherine Addison, and I was like, I like that more?
But the thing is, I just haven't read more of her. And
and I don't. Even with just that, I liked it. I didn't like it more than Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. But Swords Point is amazing. But also, it was the first time I had read like main characters who were LGBTQ. Mm-hmm. Like it was, like that was kind of eye opening to me. It's like, oh, okay, wow, you can actually write about a gay couple, and you know, it's like the baddest motherfucker in the entire book is gay. Like he is a duelist, and he is the best duelist.
What are you trying to say, Bob?
No, I'm just saying it's like a lot of like I know there's a lot of people out there is like, oh, you know, like gay people, you know, they just have these stereotypes. And it's like, no, they're just people. Yeah. They're just people. Fuck the stereotypes. They're just people. And this book showed that, you know, it's like it kind of like in the society, it's very common for.
Now I'm a little more interested in reading the book because I just assumed that they were going to play in some way into that trope, like, and it's annoying. I don't like reading when they typecast basically. Yeah. It bothers me. It's like
well, it's like they show like the entire spectrum of human emotion for both heterosexual and homosexual. Like two of the main characters are Richard St. Vier and right. No, fuck. God, their names. Anyway, but the main couple, like, one he's a sword fighter. He's the best duelist in the city, and his lover is. I'm not going to say who he is because spoilers, but he is a somebody. But he's like real dramatic, like possibly suicidal at times, like just. Like likes to go around picking fights that he knows he's going to lose because he wants Richard to step in and kill for him, you know, or fight for him, you know, but then there's like other like
that's awful manipulative.
You just got to read it. It's good. Like it.
I'm gonna read it and purposely gear myself towards hating that.
I think once you get into it, like
no, not the story, just that whole thing where it's like
Alec is his name.
That's not okay. That's emotionally manipulative.
It is, but it works. It works. Like it's a whole thing.
That doesn't mean I have to like the character.
Yeah, no, it's a whole thing. It's great. The opening page of that, like the first scene of that, is one of the, I think, three most beautiful scenes I've ever read in genre fiction.
So, no honorable mention for J.K. Rowling?
I will say this: I've gotten a ton of enjoyment out of her books.
Yeah, see, that's why.
But I just don't. I think Ellen Kushner's a better writer. I think, and Mary Gentle. I don't know if she's a better writer than J.K., but I just got more enjoyment. Like Grunt is forever going to hold a special place in my heart. So, but J.K. would. I mean, she would. I mean, I think just from what I've been reading, I think was it N.K. Jemisin? Mm-hmm. I think she's going to end up being my new favorite when I start reading her. But I've just heard because she crops up multiple times on like every list that we've gone over in the past few months because apparently she's amazing. So definitely want to check her out.
I mean, what are you doing, Bob? Why are you not reading this person so that we can find out?
You know what? What I really want to like the more.
I'm gonna start treating you like a scout and just sending you out to find good things.
After our argument last week, I went out to like do like more research on Grimdark, like what other books are out there because I was trying to find one that's like. Because remember, what it came down to is like you were like, I'll.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, you had said like find me a Grimdark to read, and I was like, well, it's not fair to compare like Wheel of Time to Broken Empire because Wheel of Time is 14 books, Broken Empire is 3. So I went out, set my mind to go like find something that's a little more comparable between the two, and I think I've found it. But I want to start reading it myself first. But it's the Prince of Nothing series. It's grimdark. But remember, I keep showing you. I think this is one that I think you really like because every time they mention it, they mention philosophy.
It's like
rich with philosophy.
I'll just read that anyways.
So
you don't have to sell me on that.
And so I think that might. But there's a bunch of I just have so much stuff on my TBR list now.
Same here.
And I got to read my 4 chapters for Italian.
Yep.
But I'll probably just do that Sunday afternoon because, so good, so good. Yeah. So, anything you want to add?
I think the only thing I really want to add is the fact that I don't know how to say this. Robin Hobb's better than your choice. So you're wrong.
I'll say this: I have read. I mean, I do enjoy Robin Hobb because I've read Farseer trilogy.
Really good.
I just like Sword. I think Swords Point.
No, I mean that book does. I mean, I know that's one of your favorite books.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I just like it so much. It's got a lot of rich world building for. It's a short book, but because it only takes place in this one city. Like it.
No, because it is. You said it was that type of book. That
Fantasy
you like.
Manners.
Yeah.
It takes place in one city.
I have problems with a lot of stories that take place in one set location. That's because the last couple ones that I read didn't. They weren't that. Yeah. Like Goblin Emperor was good. I could handle that. That it took place all in one place. Yeah. And it was fantastic, but
you should read the Chalian series by Boot.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I should read, Bob. There's a lot of things.
They're real good. You just gotta quit fiddle fucking around and spend more time reading. That's what you gotta do.
I would like to be able to do things other than read, like breathe.
No.
And occasionally sleep.
Derek, sleep. You need sleep. Just read.
Apparently not me. I'm going on 2.5 hours interrupted. So
fair.
Because they were like, "Oh, we're going to deliver packages at 10 in the afternoon or in the morning," as if yeah, okay, that's really not a big deal. But for me, it is because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I hate all of you.
Fair.
Yeah. And by all of you, I mean you.
Me specifically. That's fair. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Don't have any viewer mail because no one loves us. We would love for you to get at us though. Tell us who your favorite female author is. Tell me why I should read N.K. Jemisin, as though I needed more reasons. Or whatever. Hit us up. Email us at booksbeardsbooze@gmail.com. Comment on our Facebook. Comment on... I mean, basically, if you just search Books, Beards, Booze, you'll find us. Just search that. Go into Google, plug that in. You'll find us. And hit us up. Let us know something. Let us know what you think about this new format of us splitting it into smaller, more edible chunks. And hopefully soon, in other exciting news, we will hopefully be working a little bit better on our sound quality. We've got some new recording methods that we're going to start trying out as soon as we get the gear in and stuff like that. And add some music. Ooh,
fancy.
What? Can't tell us nothing. Anyway, I guess I'm going to end with just go forth and grow a great beard.